On December 18th, 2012, a company known as Alpha 7 Limited released the app Talking Angela on the Google Play and App Store. Something about the Talking Angela app that stood out from Alpha 7's other talking games at the time was,
instead of it just mimicking everything you say in a funny voice,
it had an actual chat feature. And note that this is before the internet was chock-full full of AI chatbots we all know of today, like Character AI or Replica or ChatGPT, or even the Google AI feature that's incredibly memeable. And honestly, most AI chatbots around this time didn't exactly have the most impressive AI either, because again, this is before AI was able to make art, replicate voices, etc., etc. We did not have the same technology we did back in 2012, but I'm getting sidetracked. After being around for almost over 2 years at this point, on February 13th, 2014, a mother made a post on Facebook warning parents to not let their children play the game Talking Angela. The post goes as follows. I can't even in words say what I just found out. I am shocked and want to tell them that my friends and family be made aware so they can make sure their children are safe. Angelica stayed home from school today, and thank God she did. Because she was on her iPod playing a game called Talking Angela, which is similar to Talk Tom. Anyway, she's sitting next to me. This interactive cat says to her, "Hi, Angelica, where's your brother?" She says, "Oh, he's right here next to me." And the cat says, "Oh, cool." And then the cat says, "So what do you do for fun?" And says, "I don't know." Now I'm being quiet and listening because I think it's weird this Angela cat knows she has a brother and is talking to her like a person. Then its voice changes and in some robotic voice it says, "Angelica, when you date, what do you do on your dates?" She looked at me and got red in the face and said nothing. Then it said, "Stick out your tongue and I'll stick mine out too." It said, "What are some things you can do with your tongue?" I can find many things to do with my tongue. It said, "Let's interact with our tongues." At that point, I had heard enough and said, "Shut it off now." I was freaked out and called the police department. They came to the house and said they would have Internet Investigations Unit and Pedophile Investigations Unit look into it. They called me an hour later and said something is behind the cat. They don't know if it is local or overseas. While the police officer was there, Angelica was talking to him and told the officer Saturday night with her cousin, and we're on the app with Talking Angela, and it asked the girls what their names, what her brother's name was, and what school they both went to. They took a picture of Angelica. This is under serious investigation right now. When I Google Talking Angela, I can't even begin to tell you what creepy stuff came up. Google it yourselves, please. But some things are the cat asking girls for their phone numbers, and if they've had their first kiss. Take this app off your phone, please. There's a big chance this could be a door for pedophiles. The police said they have seen things like this before, but never actually through a child's app, but they are not putting that past them. The girls told Angela the cat on Saturday their names, and she had a brother. And then on Monday morning, and when Angelica turned the app back on, it remembered her name and that she had a brother. These things aren't supposed to ask you questions, and especially not questions about dates or tongue or kissing. I am disgusted. I don't feel safe right now. Knowing that there is some creep talk to my daughter and niece through a talking app. Please, if you have this app or anything like it, the police are saying to take it off your phone. Copy and share this post and send it out, please. This word needs to be spread. I pray the Ocean Country investigators can crack this thing open. So please, if your kids use this app, shut it down. Because some kids told the name of the school they went to, and now this is on red alert at the school. And please pass this on to all of your friends feeling annoyed in Scotland. This news spread like wildfire, and parents went out of the way to delete their apps on their children's phone. Knowing this was back in 2014, I feel like if this were to happen today, things for the most part would play out the same. Giving your child unrestricted access to the internet is something that a lot of parents have been doing nowadays, and I don't think I even have to explain the rest. The craziest part is how, because of the controversy, the app skyrocketed in downloads and got a lot more popular than it would have been otherwise. This really got to the point where people were saying the following things. Either A, the app was trying to hack into your phone, or B, there was a man behind Angela's eyes watching your child, which, I'm sorry, what? If someone was to hack into your phone, they'd spot you through your phone camera, not a talking cat in a children's app. Especially not somewhere where you could literally look at the hacker and make eye contact with them. Not to mention, reflective surfaces in video games need a picture to reflect off of. So that's why Angela had a weird reflection in her eyes. Anyways, remember when investigations were held on the app? Well, the app eventually made its way onto the news. It was eventually found out by the news people that the app was fine, and it remembering things that you tell it was programmed, along with a bunch of other questionable things the Talking Angela AI said. Which honestly makes me feel like AI has regressed, because a bunch of modern AI you see these days, especially character AI and books of its alternatives, forget everything you say almost instantly. Meanwhile, the Talking Angela AI could remember the name you tell it, And I believe if this hoax had never happened, then the AI in this app would be like 90% of the other AI chatbots in terms of memory. Speaking of which, Alpha 7 eventually added a child mode to the app, which prevented Angela from asking any personal questions like your name or what you're wearing. The child mode got rid of the chat feature altogether, and instead made it just like any other talking games that the company had made, where it just mimics your voice and you can beat up Angela. Child mode wasn't enough, however. People, even to this day unfortunately, still firmly believed this hoax 2 years later when the app was already 4 years old. On March 8th, 2016, Alpha 7 released an official response announcing they were removing the chat feature due to controversy. And as a bonus, they also removed the reflection in her eyes. They officially got rid of the most controversial part of the game 2 years after the controversy happened. And the main reason for this was because Alpha 7 was being sold to a Chinese company known as Jink Culture Technology for $1 billion about a year after they removed the chat feature. And I'm going with the first gamer's theory that they did this to play things safe by removing all the controversial stuff from the game. And honestly, I understand why they were bought out for money, but I wish that A, the controversy never happened because then we'd still have the chat feature even after being sold, and B, they weren't sold to Jink Culture Technology because after they were, every new talking game that got released just looks like a Cocomelon ripoff. But ignoring that situation, years after the controversy already blew over, a lot of YouTubers started playing the game, along with all the other talking games, and they're making the games out to be some kind of genuine horror game that hacked into your devices. I mean, just look at the thumbnails and the titles saying, "Do not download." And don't get me started on 3 AM videos, because that is a whole other can of worms. With the chat feature now removed, the game gets very boring very quickly, and there isn't as much to do in it anymore. Sure, one of the most well-known parts of any talking game is the characters just mimicking your voice, but that can also get very boring very fast. Now the game kind of just sits there on the Google Play and or App Store, and the worst part is people still leave reviews claiming something bad happened to them on the app. Yes, they're obviously lying, but come on. Do you seriously have nothing better to do than to claim a controversy that happened 11 years ago is still true even after it was already debunked? I mean, that just sounds like your average user on the site Elon Musk ruined. Yes, I'm intentionally showing Helliver's clips here because VividPub was already proven to be innocent. Link to this video in the description. Anyways, I have nothing else to say here, so Bill, roll the actually. Let's have Angela do the outro for us this time.
Remember, reality is illusion, universe is a hologram. Bye, bye.